Everyone fighting that league better pray to the MMA gods. Vitor Belfort does not enter that fucking thing juiced to the gills.
Alright, so apparently these days I just make videos about whatever comes to my head when I'm tired or hi, hello. Today's topic is steroids, PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, and the fighters that are on them, and what would happen if the fighters that are currently on them were allowed to be on them permanently. So let's talk about it. A lot of people love to wax poetically about what would happen if fighters were allowed to take steroids with impunity and the battlefield was leveled. Well, I've thought about it as well, a lot. I've thought about it long and I've thought about it hard, and what I think would happen is that we would get champions that are in their 50s and 60s and maybe even 70s. Let me explain. Probably not 70s. If we had to boil it down to two factors that make a fighter great, what do you think they would be? I think they would be athletic ability and experience. The athletic ability peaks when you're between 25 and 30 years old. I think we can all agree to that. And your experience peaks generally when you're above 30 plus. I think we can all agree to that as well. And when you're just starting to understand martial arts, when you turn 30 plus, you're just starting to get it. You start to become the true artist that you were meant to be, like some kind of a cruel cosmic joke, like some type of proof that God does indeed have a sense of humor. Your body begins to fall apart and you have to start relying on your experience because you can no longer rely on your athletic ability. It's simply not there. You lose your reflexes, you start getting slow and plodding, your body loses tone, you become soft, and you just become Alexei Olenek. And it's cruel, it's messed up, because you can't have both at the same time. You can't have experience and you can't have athletic ability. You either have one or you have the other, unless, of course, you're on the juice, the sauce, you know, the secret ingredient, the shit that makes your head grow. And then you just become the absolute best version of yourself. And you guys might think that I'm a little bit loopy like saying this stuff because it doesn't quite sound realistic, but we've had examples of this in the past. Let's take, for example, Vitor Belfort, TRT Vitor. He was a much better fighter in his 40s than he ever was in his 30s and even 20s. Another example, Dan Henderson developed knockout power out of nowhere in his 40s that he didn't really have in his 30s and his 20s. Became a much better, stronger, more durable fighter. How about Alistair Overeem? Was a subpar light heavyweight when he was in his late 20s, early 30s, became Ubereem, became an absolute destroyer, got in the UFC, lost it all, left the UFC, got back on the juice, just beat up Badr Hari, one of the best kickboxers in the world. Just imagine if fighters were able to hold on to the sharpness, the reflexes, the speed, and the explosiveness of their 20s in their 40s, 50s, and for the absolute freakiest of the genetic freaks, their 60s, what type of fighters we would see. We would see champions that will hold on to the belts for decades. I mean, just imagine 30 years of fighting experience combined with youth. I mean, we would see dudes that look like they belong on Medicare, that look like they need an AARP card, dominating and being champions. We would see real life Haihachis. And for that reason, and that reason at all, I want to see all of these guys on as much shit as they can handle. I want the UFC to endorse this. I want those fancy PIs to become steroid dispensaries where motherfuckers can just walk in, whoop, official doctor shoots you up with that super soldier serum and you're out the door. I want to see it. I know you guys want to see it. Everybody wants to see it. It's the future. Let's do it. All right, I gotta head to bed. I'm tired. Comment. Let me know what you think. Like, dislike, go for the algorithm, and I will see you guys soon.